This video is about creating a system of equations to model a given situation. So a system of equations is two equations with two different variables. So in number one, we have Alex and Bailey are working together on a design project. They have been allowed a total of 7 hours to work on the project and will make $151. Alex makes $18 an hour and Bailey makes $23 an hour. So first we want to read and find all of our important information. So we know that there's a total of 7 hours to make a total of $151. And we know that Alex makes $18 and Bailey makes $23. So the thing that we're trying to find is how many hours Alex and Bailey are working. So we want to use letters for Alex and Bailey. So A is going to stand for Alex hours worked, and B is going to stand for Bailey hours worked. So there's two equations here. We have one for hours and one dealing with money. So in the first equation, because A and B are standing for the Alex hours and the Bailey hours, we would just add those together to get 7 hours. So A plus B equals 7. In the second equation, we are trying to figure out how much money is going to be made. So we know that Alex makes $18 an hour and Bailey makes $23 an hour, and together they will make a total of $151. So we know our total is $151. We want to include with each variable how much they're making. So Alex is making 18 plus Bailey is making 23. Let's look at another example. Number 2, James and Tucker are taking a road trip. They drive a total of 9 hours and traveled a distance of 555 miles. James drove at a rate of 55 miles per hour and Tucker drove at a rate of 65 miles per hour. How many hours did James and Tucker drive? So we're looking for how long they each drove. So the two people that drove are James and Tucker. They drove for 9 hours for 555 miles. When each of them was taking a turn, they had different speeds. James drove at 55 miles per hour and Tucker drove at 65 miles per hour. So our variables here are going to be the people driving. So we have James hours driven and we have Tucker hours driven. So in the first equation, we just want to figure out how many hours together get us 9. So again, we would be adding them. So we have J plus T is equal to 9. Then when we get our rate of distance, so however fast you're driving, 55 miles per hour, that means every hour you're going 55 miles. So we can multiply it by the number of hours that each person drives to get the total miles. So James drove 55 miles per hour plus Tucker drove 65 miles per hour. And when we multiply that out, we would get their total distance of 555 miles covered. Number 3, the sum of a small and large number is 22. 2 times the large number minus 3 times the small number is 46. Find the small and large number. So this is a little bit different because one of us tells us the sum is 22 and the other sentence gives us a whole equation if we just slowly read through it. So first we need to identify the variables. We're trying to find the small and large number. So I'm going to use S for small number and L for large number. So in the first, it says the sum, which is addition, of the small and large number is 22. So that means it equals 22. So S plus L equals 22. The second sentence gives us our equation if we just read through it word by word. So 2 times the larger number, which would be 2L, minus 3 times the smaller number, so minus 3S, is, remember, is again is equal, so equals 46. Number 4, a swimming pool has a perimeter of 124 feet. The length of the pool is 10 less than 5 times its width. Okay, so first we need to figure out perimeter. So in a pool, your perimeter, you have 2 sides that are a length and 2 sides that are a width, because we're looking for the length and width. So L is going to be length and W is going to be width. For perimeter, you are adding the distance around the pool. So if I add these up, I have 2L plus 2W equals a perimeter of 124. Now, the second one gives us a relationship here. It says the length of the pool, which is L, is 10 less than 5 times its width. So the length of the pool is L equals 10 less than 5 times its width. So we want to go backwards here, because before we can do 10 less, we have to know what we're 10 less of. So we have 5 times its width, which is going to be 5W, and then 10 less, so we're going to subtract 10. Number 5, a group of tourists are taking a boat tour of Chicago. They were a total of 23 tickets sold for a total of $309. The cost of an adult ticket is $15 and a children's ticket is $9. How many of each type of ticket were purchased? So our variables here are the 2 types of tickets, and the 2 types of tickets we sold were the adult tickets and the children tickets. So if we look back here, there were 23 tickets sold for a total of $309. The cost of an adult ticket is $15, and the cost of a child ticket is $9. So first, we want to take the number of tickets and get to 23. So we're going to add those together. A plus C equals 23. Then we want to get our total of the money. So we need to multiply those number of tickets by their cost. So an adult ticket is 15, so 15A, plus a children's ticket is 9, so 9C is equal to $309. In number 6, the sum of a small number and large number is 186. The large number is 6 more than 3 times the small number. Find the large and small number. So again, our variables here, we are looking for a small number, which is going to be S, and a large number, which is going to be L. The sum, which is addition, of the large and small number is 186. So if we add S plus L, we're going to get 186. Our second sentence tells us the relationship between the 2 variables. So the large number is, so L equals 6 more than 3 times the small number. So 3 times the small number is 3S, and then we want to add 6 to that. Number 7, the Morris family is at the movies for a family weekend. They decide to stop at the concession stand for some movie snacks. The family bought twice as many boxes of candy as they did popcorn. Each box of candy cost $1.79, and each bag of popcorn cost $4.95. They spent a total of $25.59. How many boxes of candy and boxes of popcorn and bags of popcorn did they purchase? So the 2 things they bought are candy, so we're going to use C for candy and P for popcorn. I don't want to use B and B because they're the same variable, so I want to use different letters, so I'm going to actually be more specific than just box and bag. So the family bought twice as many boxes of candy as they did popcorn. So we don't know how many popcorn they bought, which is going to be P, but we need twice the number of P to equal the number of candy boxes. Then we know that each box of candy costs $1.79. Each bag of popcorn costs $4.95 to get us our total money. So we would have 1.79C plus 4.95P is equal to $25.59. Number 8, write an equation for the following situation. So we have these 2 pieces together that are making this longer piece. So if we add the smaller pieces together, we get our larger piece. So x plus y equals 20. In the second part, we have 3 pieces that equal a length of 42. So if we combine them together, x and x is 2x plus 3y equals 42. 9 and 10 are going to be a little different because each sentence is going to give us an equation here. So in number 9, Sammy and Jillian are going shopping for holiday lights put outside at their houses. Sammy buys 3 strings of blinking white lights and 5 strings of blinking color lights for $81. Jillian buys 10 strings of blinking white lights and 4 strings of blinking color lights for $118. How many does each string of lights cost? So the 2 string lights that we are trying to find the cost of are white and color. So we're going to use W is going to be white lights cost, and C is going to be color light cost. So each sentence gets its own equation. So Sammy buys 3 strings of white and 5 strings of color for $81. So we have 3S plus 5C equals 81. Jillian buys 10 strings of white plus 4 strings of color to get us $118. So we would have 10 W plus 4C equals 118. In number 10, FBLA and Student Council are going to different leadership conferences this weekend. FBLA uses 3 buses and 2 vans to go to their conference and sends a total of 110 students. Student Council uses 4 buses and 5 vans to go to their conference, sending a total of 170 students. How many students fit on each van and how many fit on each bus? So we have V for number of students on van, and we have B for the number of students on a bus. So each sentence again is going to get its own equation. So FBLA use 3 buses, so 3B plus 2 vans, 2V equals 110 for that total people that they were transporting. Student Council uses 4 buses and 5 vans to send 170 students. So we have 4 buses, 4V, plus 5 vans, 5V is equal to 170.